Mic check one, test two, mic check, test one, test two, check one, check two. Hey Nancy, how are you? Happy Aloha Wisdom Wednesday. Love you chokes, Nancy. I was just gonna text the group. Thank you so much. My brother DJ D Box represent. What up, D? How you, brother? Happy Aloha Wisdom Wednesday. Yo, D Box. I'll reach out to you. We're doing a gathering again in July. Would love to have you be there and have you be part of the celebration. Asylum Gamings is in the house. Asylum Gamings, what up, man? How are you? Happy Aloha Wisdom Wednesday. Welcome, welcome. So good to have you here. Thank you guys so much. Um, I'm super excited about today's show for several different reasons. Number one, this is my very first guest that is not on Twitch. Actually, well, he just joined Twitch. He just created an account. Ricky Uemoto, Valtrism. How are you, Val? Good to see you. Happy Aloha Wisdom Wednesday. So my very first non-Twitch guest. Super excited. Talk about a success story. In many ways, we have a lot of very similar traits. Our characters are very, very similar in nature. Very successful. I love what he does out in the community and what he does. So looking forward to having brother Kuldip be part of Wisdom Wednesday today. Yeah, D Box. I'll hit you up definitely, brother. Good to see you, man. How's the family? How's the wife? How's La? Hugs to your mother-in-law. Appreciate you. Asylum Gaming. Let us know when you're streaming again, man. Would like to support you. Voucherism. How are you? How's your week so far? Good to see you guys. Thank you for your support. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate you. We normally start at 5 p.m. or 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, but due to some scheduling commitments, we had to start a half hour early. So thank you, all of you, mahalo nui, for joining us and taking the time out of your super busy schedule to be here with us today on Wisdom Wednesday. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. Nancy and Rick, I was just with them in Vegas last week, Thursday. Got a chance to just hang out and spend some quality time together with the crew, with all the Twitch peeps. Lila was with us. Asylum Gaming. It's 22:30. It's 10:30. You're 6 hours ahead. That's your East Coast time, right? Um, Temperature is 6 degrees. That's great. I don't know how you guys do it, but bless your hearts. Asylum Gaming's don't hate, but it's 80 degrees currently in Honolulu. A little bit cloudy, so the weather's kind of blah. Missy chokes, Nancy. Nancy, by the way, was in Vegas and won some money up there. So she was supposed to treat dinner, but that didn't happen. Well, glad you guys made it home safely, Nancy. Nancy, how's the Real Ones event? So I heard someone told me that I think on DJ Ice's channel, he made an announcement that there will possibly be a Real Ones event in July when everybody comes down. So we shall see. We shall see. Yeah. Baker Boys this past Sunday, correct, Nancy? I know Curse was there. Uh, who else was there? Bobito the chef. Usually Bobito's there for the Real Ones. Yeah, D Box. Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it, brother. Miss you, bro. Lila's in the house. Lila's, of course, one of my power mods. Good to see you, Lila. How are you? Happy Aloha Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you, Lila, for turning up. And for those of you that don't know, one of my mods, Mama Beezy, I think she just had surgery. She had back surgery. I think it was a successful surgery. So if you keep your prayers and positive thoughts with Mama Beezy, so she fully recovers. I need to give her a call. I just send her my aloha. Thank you so much, Lila. How are you? Thank you so much again, you guys, for being here and hanging out. And on Wednesday, you are halfway there. It's the weekend for me, so I'm hungry too, Lila. I actually have a meeting right after this broadcast. Oh, so who's on my shirt? It's actually a saying. This is a company that's actually from Samoa. I know, but the saying is Fa'a Samoa, which is loosely translated to it's the Samoan way. And so that's the company that created it. I saw it and I was like, oh man, let me support them. Nice D-Box. Yeah, Ice has a way of convincing people to do things. Yeah. So yeah, Planet Promote reached out to me yesterday, oh Sunday, I think, the morning of the Real Ones event, and he inquired about possibly doing a Real Ones in July. So I told him let's sit down and have a chat and let's talk story and let's figure this out. So it'll be so dope. It'll be super dope. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Hopefully more people will jump on and join us for Wisdom Wednesday. Um, Couple things that I know. Zaldi, if you following Zaldi, our Filipino brother from LA, he is pushing for partner, and I just heard D1 Drew is pushing for partner. Maybe I'm late to the game, but I just saw his flyer that he made an official push for partner. So let's support D1 Drew. Let's support Zaldi. I know Zaldi's very close. I know he's been pushing the last couple weeks, so hopefully. Yeah. Yes, Nancy, let's do it. Real ones, island style. That'll be super dope. Looking forward to that. So here's the challenge with the real ones is we're gonna have like all these dope West Coast DJs. Like who do we have here to have them be part of real ones? I think just coordinating that. So we'll see. We'll see. Drive safely, D box. Drive safely, man. Of course, text automatic. Text on top of the list. Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually gonna reach out to Tech and talk story with him and see what we can do. Of course, venue is another uh topic that we got to figure out and do it. Yeah, me, Puro Bud. Yeah, yeah, we'll see. We just got to figure out who's you know put me on. Yeah, yeah, we shall see. I don't know. Can I just be there and just hang out? Yeah, compose. Yeah, D box. Yeah, compose will be dope. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. So that's the plans. Lila, it's Ixnay on San Diego. I don't think I'm going to San Diego. I'm gonna save up the money so that I can hang out with you guys in July. So I told Bella, I think I'm gonna just stay back, and only because I actually picked up a couple weddings. Some people called. I like, yeah, I'm gonna do weddings instead. If it's an opportunity to make some money, yeah, yeah, Lila. So it's no on a San Diego. Yeah. So for those of you guys that are lurking in the back there, aloha, happy Aloha Wisdom Wednesday, welcome. Um, I'm actually gonna bring in my guests and we'll just get this started. Um, the guy would say, "Yeah, Lila, Jimmy Taco. Yeah, I'll reach out to them and I'll have a conversation with those guys." So let me bring in my guest. So he's a countryman of mine. We literally just met little less than maybe about a month ago. But I've known him and I've admired him from afar. I just never had the chance uh, to sit down and talk story with him, but we did. We actually had lunch. Guess where? Lilia Bakery, of course. That's what we had. Diana Lynn Rivera, all from Florida. Aloha to you. Happy Aloha Wisdom Wednesday. I know it is 10:40 for you, so thank you for staying up always and supporting the channel. Shout out to Diana Lynn Rivera. Make sure you're following her. She streams as well. Follow DJ D-Box, my brother, who lives here in Hawaii. Is one of my Blue Ohana brothers right there. Chica Chula. I wish I had my. Do I have my echo on? Chica Chula. How are you? Happy Aloha Wisdom Wednesday. Welcome. But to bring in today's guest, we're gonna talk story. He is brand new to Twitch. And it's something he may want to venture in, but he literally is in a local in terms of here in Hawaii, a content creator. Shout out to my Uso right there, Big Body Cisco, my Twitch partner Us. What's up, brother? Shout out to Big Body Cisco. Make sure you following him out in the 702, the Ninth Island. Follow that brother right there. Dope DJ, great streamer, awesome human being. Follow that bro right there. Us, good to see you, man. So without further ado, Chad Ohana, do me a favor and help me welcome my brother Kuldip in the house.
Should I chihu at this moment?
Absolutely, chihu, man.
Maybe I should make all my neighbors. Yeah, wake all of them.
That's okay. That's all right. It's all good, man.
Chihu. Okay, that's good enough.
Yeah, because the people in the chat room will chihu along with you, man.
Hey,
what up?
Hey, what's up, chat? Now, bear with me. I said this to Don already. I'm probably going to be a little bit slow to say hi to everybody, but I appreciate you guys having me here. Don's the man, and I appreciate Don especially for having me here as well. So if I accidentally press leave, it's not because I wanted to leave. It's because I pressed the wrong thing. So I just want to make sure you guys are aware. That's all. Because the chat button on my screen is like right next to the leave button. So
why did they put it right next to each other? I don't know why.
Yeah, right. Well, why is that next to each other? At least put the cam button there. But
yeah. No kidding, right? So, bro, it's customary when my guests of Wisdom Wednesday join me. And normally I will turn it over to my guests and have them shout out the chat. So the time is now yours, Us.
Okay.
Sit back. Go ahead and shout them out.
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out. So Michelle said, "Aloha, brother, LYC." What is LYC? See, now this is something I need to be aware of. Is all this little nickname and all these emojis stuff. I'm not really familiarized with it, so I'm just gonna say, "What's up? What's up, Chica Chula?" Oh, that's like a really fancy ass name. Nancy Nakamura, what's up? I love your sunflowers, by the way. That's pretty dope. Now, I kept hearing you say Lila. Is it Lila or Layla?
It's Lila.
Lila, okay. Yeah. That's what's up. Hi, Lila. You're going to be Layla in my world. No, just kidding. But what's up to everybody? Just want to say hi. Thank you guys again. It's such a pleasure to be here, be a part of the Twitch community.
Check out this next name. Check out this handle right there. Just jumped in the chat.
Oh, Salty Nuts, my favorite. I love Salty Nuts. But like the actual, it's pretty good. But that's what's up. That's cool. Is he a gamer too as well, or is he
Salty Nuts is a viewer, is a supporter of a lot of streamers here on Twitch.
Oh, that's dope.
So like with many of these people. So I'm not sure if you can see. Oh, you know what? StreamYard doesn't show the icon. So I'm looking on Twitch, and there's different icons or badges, we call them, that identify these people in the chat room. So like when you visit a chat room, if you see someone with a badge that has like a sword,
I see.
It's a white sword with a green background, then they're moderators for that channel. So they actually help represent that streamer's channel. Yeah, and
that's pretty cool.
So Lila and Nancy and Michelle are all my mods.
Cool. What's up, mods? Hey, you have a bunch of mods. That's really good.
Yeah.
And there's some pretty cool mods, so to speak, you know?
Yeah.
They're all like constantly commenting, and this is cool.
What's up, D-Box? I feel very blessed. Yeah. D-Box, he's local boy from here.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I've heard D-Box's name through...
Yeah, he did radio too.
It was through Funky Child, I think. I'm not sure if that is the same...
It's the same guy.
Funky Child talks about. So there's this guy named Justin Escoto, one of the DJs I typically use sometimes, and I think he told me he used to live with this one black dude, and his name is D-Box, hella cool guy, and I'm assuming that's him. I'm not sure.
That is him. And
if he's a white guy, sorry, bro.
No, that's him. He is the only Popolo dude on Twitch.
Oh, no. That's
that's D-Box, man. That's D-Box. Yep.
Oh, cool.
So D-Box used to DJ on the radio too. He did. a lot of guest spots. I think he was regular. Worked for the radio stations, and did all the uh, mixes on the radio station too as well.
Well,
Yeah.
which radio station was he on?
Um, Shoot. I think it was 102.7. I think it was like the bomb. I'm
Ah,
sure he'll comment. D-Box will chime. He's actually driving home from work, but I'm
okay.
sure he'll comment.
Shoots,
Right.
shoots. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you guys. I see Diana Lynn Rivera
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. She's from Florida.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool. Wow, you got guys from all over the place.
Yeah.
And here, that's what's up. That's cool. Hey Diana, what's the weather like in Florida? Sounds like it's much hotter than here. I'm not sure. I remember it
Yeah.
was much more humid when I went there.
Yeah.
And then
There you go.
Michelle's in here too.
So Michelle's from Santa Barbara.
Okay.
Lila's from Long Beach.
Oh, a bunch of Californians here then.
Yeah, yeah, a bunch of them, right?
Ah, cool.
Let's
Hot
see.
93.9. That's what he was on.
Yes.
Oh, cool,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. I-94. Yeah.
Ah. Speaking about hot and
Oh,
humid,
Cerritos. Yes, hot and humid. Yeah, it is, right? It is.
it is kind of hot and humid in here. That's why I decided to wear my favorite sweater, just so I could be hot even more.
So let's start from the beginning. It's like where are you from? Like tell us your journey of where you're from, and then how did you end up here in Hawaii?
Yeah, cool. So I'm from the jungles of American Samoa. Mother is actually from there. Father is from India. So it's like if Dwayne the Rock Johnson had a baby with Russell Peters. Bam. And that's how
They
you
would
have
have
it.
you. They would
Yeah,
have you.
yeah. So born in the 80s, raised in the 90s, and then made my way here in 2000. So it was what 2006 when I graduated from high school, and then I came to a university here in Hawaii called Chaminade University, and I did my bachelor's and master's in it. And I thought, like every single college student, we pursue college just to throw away my degree, and I did exactly the same. So I ended up I did it in accounting, the most boring subject in the entire world. And then from there, I actually jumped into emceeing and doing what I currently love doing, which is also content creation.
So accounting, was that by choice, or was that one of those things where your parents were like,
No,
hey, you know what, son, we're gonna send you to Hawaii and you're gonna be an accountant?
yeah. So long story short, you know how typical Indians are, even typical Samoans, I'd say.
Yeah.
You have to be some sort of titled doctor, lawyer. So my dad was big into this because for some reason it's such a cultural thing in the
Well,
Indian
I was just
community.
gonna say that. Like, isn't
Yeah,
it culturally,
it is.
right?
It is. It's
Yeah.
like if you're not a doctor, if you're not an attorney, if you're not some sort of prestige thing, then what are you, right?
Yeah.
So I
Shame.
used to remember some of these comedians who would make jokes, and they I forgot which comedian it was, and he used to joke with his dad. He's like, "Dad, but I'm a millionaire now," and he goes, "Yeah, but you're not a doctor." So it's like so stupid. But I mean,
It,
long story short, it's like it was something that was kind of like pressed on me to do.
yeah.
My parents didn't really force me. They just said, do something, like do something that is, I don't know. My sister went and did law, so she's a prosecutor out here in Hawaii, and so she pursued that. She loves it. But for me, it was something that I didn't enjoy. So I went like about 6 years doing something I absolutely hated until like I had the courage to stand up for myself, my own community. Like, I know I'm supposed to be the golden child from this specific village, but that's not what I'm going to do. I don't care if you wanted me to be governor or president. I do it in my own terms, in my terms only. So
Yeah.
that's why I decided to pursue what I love now. Just like
So
you, Don. That's why you're the man.
it's still working on it. So do you come from a big family? How many
uh,
siblings?
So big family in terms of immediate family, we used to hang out with my cousins all the time. So
Yeah.
my own immediate family, I only got one sister. So me and her were raised in just this household, but in that specific part of the village, like how they say it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, this really literally was a village that took to raise me as a child, because I grew up in an area where you had neighbors like really pretty much right next to each other.
Yeah.
So when the cousins would play, none of us were on these iPads or anything. Like, I know a lot of the kids, the parents are trying to take it away these days.
Yeah.
You didn't have to force us, because we were so excited to go outside, play cricket, I mean, typical like Samoan sports they would play is like cricket or football at the time. And so we used to love like playing with invisible guns in our hand and hide and seek. So yeah, that entire village that we were raised in, it was like a family of, it was like 4 or 5 different families just in that one area. So it was like 15, 20 plus kids in this neighborhood that would get together just to play.
So speaking of cricket, if you could do me a favor and maybe educate some of us that probably are saying you guys would play with all these insects, where actually it's actually a sport, right?
Yeah, no,
It's
no, it
actually a
was
favorite
insects. Bro,
pastime
tell
for
them the
us in
truth. We were
Samoa.
playing with insects the whole time. Come on now. No, but cricket is like, I'd say like a version of baseball. It's essentially baseball with completely different rules. Like in baseball, you have one base or four bases. You hit the ball and you try to make it all the way back around to that fourth base. In cricket, there's just two sides. So you hit it, and however many times you run back and forth, that's how much points you make. So if you're able to make it to the other side before the pitcher hits, like there's this long like board thing that the pitcher can try to throw at it, and if he hits that, you're out. So it's much easier if you go on YouTube and Google. It's hard to like make you envision it. You have to see it for yourself. It's pretty fun.
And the bat itself in cricket is very different.
Yeah, it's
It's
so
not a round
wide.
bat. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's a wide bat. Someone's favorite weapon to use on their children.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've had the taste of that several times.
Oh, that's so crazy.
That wasn't abuse. That was called discipline.
Yeah, right, right. For some reason, it was called discipline in Samoa.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
man.
Yeah. So you got here. You went to Chaminade.
Uh-huh.
Uh, you got your accounting degree, and
Yep.
then what shifted to you on going to like, huh? So I don't want to do this. Like,
Good
and
question.
then you're what? Were you at a party and someone told you grab the microphone? Like, what? What was your journey? How did that happen for you?
Yeah, so I really enjoyed emceeing from there's one random academic director who saw me in the student center. And I was chilling in the student center like every typical student was. We're playing video games. There's a pool table. It's a bunch of fun stuff that college students do. Chess, checkers, I mean, you name it. Everybody was playing games. And for some reason, rap was such a big thing back in, I guess, during that time. And so roasting each other during rap was like the biggest thing. And everybody was messing around, playing around. And I'm just sitting like none of those guys that were rapping were my friends. And so they're all rapping with each other. And then like I was sitting like on a complete opposite end of the couch. Like they're all on that side of the pool table and on the couch side. And as they're rapping, I'm sitting there. I heard like all their raps, and I heard the last guy go in, and the beatboxer kept going. So I ended up interrupting the beatboxer, and I started to rap like from my chair, saying all the different things they were saying. And then I said, "Well, all of that is good, but nothing's as good as chilling on this chair." Like something
Yeah.
stupid like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the student center erupted. They're like, "Who
They
the
went
heck is
crazy.
this guy?" And they all went nuts. Like it was just really dumb what I said. Kind of like this. If everybody knows who Super Hot Fire is, he's like this random. He was a meme back in the day. Everybody used to love that. So I used to say stupid stuff like that. Crowd erupted, and then this lady walks in, and is like, "Who was the one that did?" So I thought I got in trouble because
Yeah.
I was pretty straightforward with my rap. I don't really like to cut around the meat. I go straight for it. So I was rapping directly towards them. Just really, it was just I probably would have been slapped like Chris Rock did on stage. So long story short, the lady was just so impressed. She came in, who was the one that rapped? And I was just like, it was me. What's up? She goes, have you ever emceed an event? And I said, no. I said, she goes, would you like to MC our event? Like we typically give it to a senior. And I was only like a sophomore or freshman. I was a freshman at the time. She goes, would you like to MC our event? And I said, shoots, that sounds like fun. And yeah. And then
Nice.
after I did that, it was super fun. But I never knew you could make it into a career. So here comes 2010. I graduated. And then I'm looking for internships. And the way Hawaii works is it's all about who you know, not what you know, and which is good. Who you know uh, will take you to places. What you know will keep you there. That's a typical thing everybody hears.
Yeah.
But I really understood it here in Hawaii when I could not find a job. Like this 4.0 college student. I've never had a B in my life. And that's probably the biggest thing my dad will be proud of. He's like this Indian, like, my son never had a B, you know. And so never had a B. So I had straight A's in the entire college. And when I graduated as the valedictorian and the speaker of the university, I did my speech and I realized, like, at the end of that graduation, wow, now I'm going to come into the real world. I have nothing lined up. Nobody wants me. And it's just so interesting. So there was only one company back in 2010 who really looked my way, and that was an insurance company. So all the
Hmm.
insurance companies, big shout out to them for giving opportunities to anybody and everybody. You don't have to have you could probably have a degree in molecular biology and they'll probably still take you, right? It didn't
Yeah.
even matter. So this insurance agency picks me up, say, "Hey, come work for us." And at the same time, a company called 808 DJs was working back in the day. They're really big back in the day.
Yep.
I saw him on what is known as Craigslist, folks. It was like a thing where you could meet people on.
Yeah.
Shout out to Craigslist. And so I sent my resume and I said, "Hey, man, I saw you're looking for MCs. I'd like to do this part time." So I did the insurance thing and that part time. And then, long story short, I went to all these speeches. So the cool thing about the financial industry is when you hit all these like awards or you hit all these little tiers as far as your commission is concerned, you get
Yeah.
sent on free trips, which is
Mm.
hella cool. So I got sent on multiple free trips for hitting all these tiers. And the one trip I went on in my first year, there was a guy by the name of Randy Marshall. And when he spoke, he said something that really hit me. And it said something about, it had something to do with doing your passion.
Mm.
Now, it didn't hit me hard enough to leave, but it was like a little sprinkle, like, this is not what you're supposed to be doing, you know? And then in 2016, I saw a speech by Tyler Perry. So everybody knows who Tyler Perry is. He's Medea.
Yep.
Basically, the way his story came about is also pretty cool. How he pursued his passion. He pursued it to the point of being homeless. Like, how much do you love your passion, right? That's how much he pursued his. So he said something at Tuskegee Institute, and I that day, whatever he said, I don't remember what it was, but Tyler Perry said something at that speech, and I literally filed my I quit 2 weeks, and
Wow.
I didn't know any business, how to run a business or anything. I had no clue, and I said I quit. I'm jumping into this world full time. I don't care if I fall flat on my face, and the rest is history.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah, it
crazy.
was a crazy, all about faith, not sight kind of thing, bro.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So I want it really, really quick. Um, she jumped in the chat. I just saw her. She just followed me. I think several minutes after you followed me when you jumped on Twitch. But Aloha Kimmy is here, first time in the chat room. So chat Ohana, make sure I saw all the welcoming. So mahalo, Aloha Kimmy, aloha nui to you, mahalo nui for being here. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the chat Ohana, and you're here with my brother Kuldip. And we're just chatting. We're talking story. Lady Cumberland is in the house. Lady Cumberland, how's it? Aloha to you. Happy Aloha Wisdom Wednesday. Father Damien, he's actually from Toronto. He's actually a Catholic priest who just
Ah,
so happens to be a DJ. So he streams as
ah,
well. So the versatility of Twitch is super amazing, bro. Like all these people just come together to support each other. Mao the DJ is actually a DJ here. Mao used to play volleyball. Mao's like 7 foot 12. Like he's super tall. He played.
you sure
He
he's not
played.
8 feet, bro?
No, 7'12". I'm sure about it.
Oh, 7'12". Got you.
But he played for ex University of Hawaii volleyball men's player.
Uh-huh.
Speaks Russian fluently. Played overseas for many years. Actually specialize. He actually jumps on stream on Twitch every once in a while, but specializes more in like EDM and house music. So
Ah, really
he's
cool.
here. Yeah, Lady Cumberland, happy Aloha Thursday. Thank you for the correction for you. And that's the crazy thing about Twitch, bro. Is like you get all these people that jump in to support you, and literally throughout the globe that come in to just support and spread the aloha and support one another. That's what this is really all about.
Mm.
And then just sharing, and listening to stories such as yourself and seeing where the journey takes you. So you decide to quit,
Hmm.
right? And
Oh,
without
bro,
having,
I'm gonna interrupt you real quick.
yeah, go
Something's
ahead.
up with your end. It just started now. Like it's some sort
It,
of.
Is it
like
echoing?
feedback thing.
Dang, you know what? Okay, so hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second.
Okay. You're muted, I think.
How about
Okay.
now? How's that?
Sounds so much better.
Okay, mods, remind me I need to change my mic cable. I keep forgetting to do that. So the static happens every once in a while.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yes. Yeah. So I'm gonna highlight this message. Can you see that, bro?
Oh yeah, I can see that. Mao the DJ, cool to the vid in Vegas, asking people about Micronesia was so funny. That's that's so. Hey, I thought it was funny too, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I had no idea there was that much people in the world who had no clue about Micronesians, Melanesians, and
Crazy,
Polynesians.
right?
I
Crazy.
was shocked. Like,
I'm still surprised today, even when like I would say like, "Oh, you're from Hawaii," like, "Oh, well, welcome to America." I'm like, what? What stupid ass person? But again, when you're stuck in your own little world and you don't understand that, you know, that
yeah,
there's so many other people outside of the United States. You know,
right, right.
the world number
Like
one
they
does.
are right in a sense because it is the 50th state, but they don't realize it's a Polynesian place. Like they don't they have no
Yeah,
clue that it when you're like, what's a Polynesian? It's like,
yeah, yeah.
bro, you go
Or
to
even, or
vacation there every year and you don't know Hawaii is Polynesian. It's so funny.
yeah, and I mean, look at Presley Styles Cartel. How are you? Like, try living in New Mexico. People ask me if I need a passport to come to the United States.
Man, I'm sorry, Presley. You have to go through that. That's uh well, it's our job to educate, right? That's why I do what I
Yeah,
do.
yeah. So right, so you're out there, you're emceeing. How did you come across like the Instagram journey for you? How did that happen for you?
Oh, good question. So I think I started first on Facebook. Or was it MySpace? I'm not sure. Nah. I started on Facebook. Uh, I was never a fan of social media. I just because people would kind of like escape to it rather than face whatever it is that they're really going through in real life. And so I never really truly understood it until I realized the positive that could come from it.
For
Like
sure,
what your community is doing right now, showing love,
for
support,
sure.
especially during a pandemic. There's no like you can't feel closer to people all over, like from New Mexico, from Florida, than through social media. So when I realized the good it could do, I finally jumped onto Facebook. But at first I didn't realize yet. I jumped onto it because it was a class project in college. So I jumped on Facebook. I did that, and then I tried. I think it was in 2015 or 2016. I used to do like these lives on my own personal channel, and
Yeah,
people were like, "Bro, you're so funny. Why don't you like try this like for a living? Like just try it. You don't know where it goes." And I guess I'm so grateful. Like, well, most people, I don't know, not I won't say most. Well, maybe 70%, 60% of the people hated the pandemic. I'm really truly grateful to God for the pandemic because if it
me
wasn't,
too.
you know it, Don,
Me
because you
too.
probably wouldn't have pivoted as well on Twitch, and you probably
Absolutely.
wouldn't have met these amazing people all over the world. And
Amen.
so, yeah, so because of the pandemic, I thought, hey, since weddings are closed, why don't I like MC for a living with like people on the streets. So I figured, let me go on the streets and still do my thing. Nothing's gonna stop me. This is what I'm like. They say there's two most important dates in your life: the day you're born, and then the
And the
day
day
you find
you
out why.
realize why. Yep.
Exactly. And so when I knew why in 2016 that this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life, I did not give a damn if I go throughout some point not being able to pay the rent or whatever, because I had people who support me who's really like I they say, find 2 to 3 good friends and keep them in your life. And one of my really best ones, like she's my right hand, she does everything for me. She's actually in the comment section. So that Kimmy you give a shout out to, that's
Yeah.
basically my right hand that does everything. So
Nice. We love you, Kimmy.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So during that time she supported me, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go pursue this. And
Nice.
so I went out on the streets, did it, and I thought, what I thought in my head was scary was the least bit scariest thing I ever did. So I went out in public and I danced in public. So one of my favorite guys, he's an Asian guy who dances in public. He was a content creator, and I forgot his name. I don't know if anybody can shout him out if they know his name. He's in New York. Like, he dances to Spanish music. Really funny Asian guy, and for some reason I cannot remember his name. So, anyways, he dances in public and does all of that. So I thought to myself, what is the scariest thing I could do for myself in this moment? And let me go do it. So I thought for myself, the scariest thing I could do was to go in public at Alamwana Shopping Center and get right in the middle of everybody in the food court
That's
and just
dope.
start dancing. And it was the
That's dope.
scariest thing in my head. But after I did it, oh my gosh, it's like nothing is holding me back now. Like, there is nothing in the world that would ever hold me back, uh, except God. So I listen to
For
Him, and
sure.
I go through and I do my own meditation bit and whatnot. But there's nothing that can stop me now after that moment. So it's like, whatever it is that you're scared of doing, trust me, you just have to do it. All it takes is less than 30 seconds, and you'd be surprised at the amount of things you can do after that one little thing that scares you is done.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, so that's
awesome,
cool.
bro. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
So really, really quick, there's a few people that just jumped into the chat room.
for sure.
Uh, Styles Cartel Por Vida, how are you, sister? Happy Aloha Wisdom Wednesday. My 18 brother, Kuldip, this guy right here, his name is DJ Stress TV.
Okay.
Um, if I could describe his channel
Uh huh.
in one word, it would be intense. This
Ah.
guy, uh, this Korean brother of mine,
Uh huh.
extremely entertaining. I mean, a really good DJ, funny as heck. Like, he is funny as hell, super entertaining. Screams the whole entire 3-4 hours that he streams, and still comes back the next night to do it all over again.
That is cool.
If you get a chance, check out my brother DJ Stress TV. We were just up in Vegas together last week, together just hanging out, and so
Yeah. What is that festival? I mean, this is about you now, bro. But what was that festival you had to DJ for?
it's UNLV had
Ah,
what's
okay.
called it's called a Rev Fest, and that's where they bring in all different artists to perform, and it was just the festival of music. And so there's a bunch
Super
of us
cool.
on Twitch that actually submit mixes to play on their HD2 radio station in UNLV, and we've been doing it since July of last year. And so
Wow.
I submit a local Aloha mix, an island mix, and
Ah,
so the other DJs will do all different types of genre. And so because of it, they brought us down, and and we're part of the festivities. So so blessed, man, so blessed.
that's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, and Diana says, and he has the best hair on Twitch.
Oh yeah, she's referring to Stress TV. Yeah,
Yeah,
Stress,
yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
his, yeah, his hair, even in Vegas, all the humidity and the weather and how hot it was, his hair was still perfect, man.
Yeah, so
That's
he sounds like a K-pop model, bro.
Bro, he
That's how
is a
all the
K-pop
K-pop
model.
models are like,
He
man.
is.
They all
People
have
don't
like
know
perfect
he's
hair,
actually part of a
perfect
K-pop group.
looks.
He's part of a K-pop group, but nobody knows it,
Oh, okay,
right?
at least now they know. Everybody know. Follow
Yeah.
his K-pop group.
Yeah. He actually just started a group. It's called Kalbi.
Oh, nice. I love it. That's a good name. That's a good
Stress.
Korean group
Start
name.
start the group, man. Kalbi. Kalbi for the
Kalbi.
people. Kalbi for the people. Yeah, man. So yeah, yeah. If you get a chance, check him out, man. Super, super dope DJ. Super fun, funny as hell. Right.
That's cool.
So you jump on, you do this thing out in Alamana Shopping Center. You start dancing, right? I'm sure people is looking at you. You get over that fear. You jump. You make that leap of
Right.
faith, right? You jump and you're like, well, that wasn't that bad. Well,
Right.
what else can I do? Right? Like,
Exactly.
so if you could describe to the chat room for those that have never been on on your IG channel yet, because they will if they haven't already checked you out, how would you describe like your content? What it would be for you?
For me, Mike. So it's a two-way thing. So the first thing is I'm able to spread joy and love in a time where you don't see much of it. So kind of like what you do, Don. You come on here, you entertain people, and you spread joy in a way that you've always wanted to do. And in my form of way and things I've wanted to do is I absolutely love emceeing. I just there's something about it being in front of a group of people. Don knows it's like a feeling that you just want to keep having. And so, because I enjoy it so much, I decided to do like really awkward things in public. I guess if you want to think about a one word sentence, what is it that I do for my content creation? It's basically doing awkward things in public. So, you've probably seen all those videos where people do awkward stuff in public. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm one of those idiots that's you'll see on. But mine is more on the positive side. There's a few where they have to like hit people or like run into people purposely. No, I'm not about that. I'm all
Yeah.
about spreading love in a positive way. So it's all like sometimes pranks, but it all positive, like funny pranks that that me and my friends used to enjoy pulling on each other. So I kind of pull it on people in public. It's really funny, and a lot of the people are really good sports about it because it's all positive. I'm not hurting anybody or not doing anything wrong. But that's essentially what the channel
Yeah.
is. And then from there, they always say you have to discover all different aspects of yourself until you figure out what is that one aspect that you're great at. So I think I told you this story, Don, but 11-figure earner followed me. Uh,
Hmm.
it's I think he makes 11 figures a year. So not seven, not eight, not nine, not 10. He reached 11 figures. And I asked him, hey, man, what is the secret to actually reaching that? And he says, one simple thing. You find the one thing you're great at. You try to figure out whatever that is. Who knows? It might not be emceeing. What if it's comedy? Who
Yeah.
knows? It might not be comedy. What if it's content creation, right? You know now already that you're a good MC, but what if like it's some form of aspect of emceeing that you haven't tried? And so he told me that until you figure that out, you still have to experiment. So I'm experimenting with so many different aspects because I love emceeing. I still want to test out, what other aspects of emceeing do I really truly enjoy? And that's why the creation of Kuldip TV.
I love it. I love it. So
Yeah.
it looked like your one of your business partners just jumped in. Is it
Oh, Cookie. Hey, what's up? Yeah,
Cookie
so Cookie
Fabros? Yeah.
Cookie is also so um she's one of the main owners of Noob Entertainment.
Oh,
They're one of the DJs on it. So Noob Entertainment, you've seen them all over
yes.
probably. Yeah, she's
Yes.
one of the main owners.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cookie. Aloha.
Yeah.
How's it? Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for the support. Shout out also to DJ Disciples in the house. Disciple, how are you, man? Happy Aloha Wisdom Wednesday. Sorry I missed you earlier, but I see you. I see you out there. Um, so like, for people like me, right? Because I'm still trying to figure out how IG works, and so for content creators such as yourself, in terms of payment, like how does the payment scale works? Like these are the things that for me, like I would want to know. Like if I decide, like, hey man, should I want to venture on that side? Like, how would the numbers look for me? Yeah. So
So
how does that work? Yeah.
so I can explain more on the TikTok and Facebook sides as well as YouTubing because that's who pays me mostly. But I'm assuming Instagram does the same. But the way Facebook pays me, based on every view, there's a thing called CPM, and I'm assuming you understand this too because you run a YouTube channel. Once you hit a certain amount of hours, so let's say on YouTube it's 4,000 watch hours. So you got a bunch of people to watch your stuff. You've hit 4,000 watch hours. Perfect. You got the first requirement. Then there's another requirement that you have to hit at least 1,000 subscribers. Once you hit that, then you become like a partner. So kind of like how Don grinded for this partnership for Twitch. You grind for that, and then you make your money off of that. Now on TikTok, it might be the same as Instagram. You make your money a lot off of live. So
I see.
you go on live and you try to battle these people. So if there's a feature where you can click battle, and then you go and you talk to random people all over the world too, and then you battle, and then your supporters are pressing love and they're trying to compete, and people send you what is like kind of I don't know how they send you a coin here or how it works, but
So
they'll
it would
send,
be the equivalent of our bits, or yeah. So
that's
the
probably what
coins
it
would
is.
be equal to our bits here. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So they send you this coin, and from that coin, you're able to turn it into money later on. And then
I
on
see.
top of that, yeah, and on top of that, they pay you on based on a amount of views.
I
So
see.
people in my world, in the awkward public interaction and all of that world, they'll pay like YouTube, Facebook, they'll pay you anywhere between $2 to $5 uh, on every 1,000 views. So let's say you take 1 million views. So some of my
Yeah.
videos have hit like 4 million, 3 million.
Mm,
So you take that divided by 1,000 and multiply it by that number, the CPM, and that's how much you typically make off of every video.
I see.
Yeah, and then the platform pays you that. Back in the
Yeah.
day, these platforms were really good at paying their content creators, but because it's an environment now that's so saturated, almost everybody is like trying to be a content creator. So now the CPM has gone further and further down. So I
I
think the
see.
higher CPMs are in like the world of what you're doing, podcasts,
Hmm.
talking about like stuff like this, like that. The CPM there is much higher. So instead of $2 to $5, you're getting paid like 5 to 9
I
bucks.
see.
Yeah, it's much
So,
higher
so
because
someone's channel like Joe Rogan, his
yeah,
CPM must be like
must be
super
high. Yeah,
high,
because
right?
sponsorships. I mean, up until
Oh,
like what
for
happened
sure.
with him,
Of
but
course, of
yeah,
course.
yeah, but sponsorships will pay mostly for for those guys who have conversations like this, who can get like a certain type of niche on there, and I think
Yeah,
that's why. Yeah.
nice. See, like stuff like that, I wouldn't know unless I
Hmm.
would talk to somebody because I wouldn't take the time to read it because it's too much reading for me
Yeah, absolutely. It
because
saves you,
I'm
and you're doing a
lazy.
smart thing, John. You're
Yeah,
saving yourself time because that's the
yeah,
one thing we don't have in this world is time. Yeah.
yeah. Well, we all have equal amount. It just depends on what you choose
How
to
you
do
use
with
it.
it. Is that's the
Absolutely,
difference, right?
bro.
There's an acronym.
Absolutely.
There's an acronym for system. So
Hmm.
system has an acronym which stands for save yourself. Save yourself time, energy, money. System.
Mm. Oh, I like
Yeah.
that. I've never heard that one before. You're the
Yeah,
first to
yeah.
tell me that. Save
Yeah.
yourself time and money. Oh, I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
So somebody graduated from high school barely came up with it.
Oh, it was you. No, you. My. That's why you're a smart guy. You know, that is dope. I like that. Whoever you give my compliments to that person who created system.
Thanks, mom. Nah, that's funny. So, so how? Excuse me. So, how long have you been on IG? Was it since during the pandemic?
Uh, it probably started on in the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think since 2020 when the pandemic hit, I
Okay.
finally like kind of like, oh, let's get on Instagram now
Yeah.
and let's see what's on here. Yeah. So I think it was 2020, 2019. I kind of got like I was on it for a while for my own personal business, but I didn't really do stuff on the business side. When I finally did the content creation was probably in 2020. Wow, I forget, bro. It's 2022.
It's
Like I'm talking
2022,
as if
bro.
it's been 1 year. Like,
Yeah.
yo, it feels like 3 years now, bro. Like
Yeah.
2020 has been around.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you,
So,
mom.
anyways,
Yeah.
it was 2 years ago.
Yeah. So, obviously I follow you and I watch your, and I look forward to your content on the daily. But there's a specific character that you use,
Okay.
that you bring on, and it's a guy that wears a wig. But here's the funniest thing because when I saw it, like I laughed so hard because of this, and you don't know this, So on our channels, there's things called a channel redemption, and how you gain channel points is the more often you're at a streamer's channel, the more points. Depending if you chat in the chat room, you'll gain more points, and you can redeem these points for certain things on a streamer's channel.
Mm.
And so I actually have a character that I think that goes to the same barber as yours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his name is DJ Oos. And so when I saw yours, I was like, "Oh, we must be from the same village."
Yeah,
Like, you know
probably,
DJ
bro.
Oos too, which and I love it, man. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. I
DJ
like
Oos.
DJ Oos. Yeah, but usually, DJ Oos is that typical. He's always hiding. He's running away from a specific law enforcement entity. He has a probation officer, and
Oh,
so
Ossifer. Yeah, you
yeah,
gotta
has
gotta make sure you know he's the Ossifer. Yeah.
Diana Lynn Rivera. We're gonna refund your points, Diana Lynn Rivera. As DJ Oos doesn't show up on Wednesday. He's actually on furlough. He's at OCCC right now. He's at OCCC.
That's so
On Monday,
funny.
Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, he's available, except Wednesdays. And so, um, yeah, but I mean, it's so like, how do you come up with your content? Like, how do you spark your ideas? Like, you wake up, or like, you're watching other comedians, other content creators, you're on the news, like you're out there. Like, well, how does it come to you?
Yeah, so nothing in this world good comes from, you can get inspiration from others, but like they always talk about three different things, or like one main thing for me. You'll hear me like emphasize everything that I've had in my life is because of God. So I everything I have is faith based. Now I'm not going to try to preach. It's your job to figure out what that is for you. It could be God. You could call it instinct. You could call it whatever you want to call it. But
Yeah.
basically, what I used to do as a kid growing up was my mom used to tell me was I used to like talk with my imaginary friend, and she said you used to just talk to God is what you used to do. And it reminded me of a time when I stopped talking to him and I stopped asking for help, or stopped asking him, what is it that you need me to do? Right. So, how can I be a beacon of change to this world? And so I was sitting on my couch and the pandemic hits, and I was around nobody. Nobody was there. They never knew the struggle I went through, how tough it was, except one other person. Kim was helping me. But besides her, during that moment, I used to sit all alone on my couch and just meditate. So you talk to some of these really wealthy, successful people, and they'll always tell you their same process every single day. If you had a bad day, tell me, what did you do in the first 2 hours? And then I'll tell you how bad of a day you had just based on the first 2 hours you had. So when you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is go on your phone, you've already started your day with hectic stuff. You're already looking at, oh, what is the news talking about? What is this
Yeah.
talking about? Oh, what are my friends saying? Did anybody text me? And you focus so much on the external stuff, it tends to infect you internally without you even realizing it. So tell me what you did in your first 2 hours of the day, and I'll tell you what your typical day is like. So
Yeah.
every day I'll get up, and if the first thing I get up, I try to, it's a tough human aspect to not do it, but I try not to look at my phone the first thing when I wake up. The first thing I try to do is at least breathe, right? It's like the
Yeah.
biggest thing we need. Like, we've been taught to breathe, but we forget to do it sometimes, right? And so breathing for at least 5 to 10 minutes and really listening to it, and then just praying. So what I would typically do in these moments is sometimes I would sit by myself just to hear my thoughts. And it's a scary thing when you listen to your thoughts, because Don, you
Yeah.
might know, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, I know you know what I'm talking about. But basically, all these versions of you telling you, oh, you can't do it, or and all these different things just talking to you all at once, right? It's like, oh, I just ate pizza, and oh, I forgot I did this, and like all these thoughts just keep coming in, and the more you silence those thoughts, the more you're able to hear the thoughts that truly matter. And so I would practice sitting down and staring or praying, and I would practice not not trying to tell the thoughts to get out of my head, but accepting them, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So you allow the thought to come in and you say, "Oh, that's cool," but you never fight the thought, because when
Yeah.
you fight the thought, you start to go through this human battle that's hard to, you know, like get through. So you allow the thought to come in, let it go, and then just relax and breathe. So I'm sitting here meditating, and then all of a sudden, boom, the thought comes to me. And the thought was like, hey, what if you just tried this character in public? So for the longest time, Don, I was trying myself to attract my niche, but nobody within my niche really resonated with that person. So I thought, well, let me try to relate to them. And so how I was able to build this following to what it is now is I was able to create that form of that character where a lot of this niche could relate to. And
Nice.
hence that's how Soleus was created, because a lot of people grew up, around FOBs, or realizing like,
Yeah.
you know, like especially in the islands, they're aware of it. So I that's how I implement. That's how Soleus came about,
Nice. So,
through meditation.
you mentioned several things, and one of the things that I've learned, and I've and I've heard that, prayer is your communication. And again, right, with our respect to those that believe in a higher being, or whatever you call him, her, it, or whatever it is, uh, that prayer allows you to speak to God. It's the meditation after your prayer, or you're sitting there just in quiet, and sitting there is the opportunity when God speaks back to you.
Beautiful.
Um,
Couldn't have
I
worded it better.
Yeah, and it's funny that you said that because the moment you said that, it actually brings me back, right? It's the Polynesian way for you and I, growing up and learning the Samoan values. That every morning, I remember because I used to live with my grandparents for a number of years, and doesn't miss. Whenever my grandfather wakes up, the house wakes up, the entire home wakes up, and right, we hear that specific whistle, and no matter if you're dreaming or not, you wake up, you make your way downstairs, in the living room, and there is a morning family prayer to start off everything, right? And it's usually accompanied first by a song, and then a prayer, and then, you know, many times I could remember my grandfather telling me, like, hey, everybody just sit there and just be silent for the next minute. And I didn't realize what that was because I was like, "Oh, awesome! This minute I can go back to sleep," And of course, I'm a child, but thinking back then, like that made so much sense, right? Hindsight is always 2020, right? And at the end of the night, whomever's home, you'll end the day off just exactly the way you started,
Mm-hmm.
with a prayer, right? It's
Right.
accompanied with a song, and at the end of the day, there's a prayer with the family, and that prayer is usually a prayer of gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and you talk about a lot of these successful people that have pretty much the same. Um, they will give the same advice. They have the same type of system. They get up early in the morning. They do certain things before they even connect with the world, right? Part of that is meditation. Part of that is having an attitude of gratitude,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which is why they're so successful. Because when
Right.
you're looking at from a perspective and through the lens of being grateful, there's a lot of things clarity that you can see without even realize, wow, right? Okay, I'm going through this. And I say this a lot through my Wisdom Wednesday show. When you're going through things, whether it's good times and challenging times, in every moment there's a lesson and a blessing behind it. You just got to understand what they're both for, and why they're there, right? Everybody loves the blessing. It's the lesson many times we miss, because that really is the blessing in that moment, especially when it's challenging. Like, there's a lesson in everything that you do. There's a blessing that comes with everything that you do as well. It's just a matter of perspective of how you look at it. So I don't know if
Absolutely,
that
bro.
I don't know if that makes sense for you.
Oh, I
Yeah,
resonated with that so much,
yeah,
bro. So
yeah,
you're absolutely right. Yeah, and there's no other way that you'll be able to see any of that blessing if you're so like on the go every single time.
yeah,
And one of the best ways to figure it out for yourself is that moment of silence that you take with yourself, because that is what will help propel you forward. None of what I have now, none of what I will continue to have, and none of who I'm going to be is all because of me. It takes like a higher being to help take you there, and also a great support community like the community you have done.
yeah. And I often say this, that you know that the talent and the skills that is possessed, that I have, that I'm grateful to share, is I'm just a vessel, man.
That's it. That's
That's
it,
really
bro.
all I am, man. I'm just a vessel. Like, oh, you're so talented. It ain't me. I'm just the vessel for it. I
Right.
recognize and I acknowledge where it comes from. I've been blessed that was able to take these talents and skills, because it can be taken away. It can be. Um, it just,
Hey,
by
look at Will. It's probably done. All those years, bro. Nah, I'm kidding.
smashed in
Yeah,
a
smash.
moment of choice. So you know what?
Years.
So let's
Challenger.
talk about that. But before we talk about that, I want to shout out a couple of people.
Yeah.
DJ Shaolim, he's from LA. It's one of my brothers right there. So shout out to my
That's a
homie
cool name, Shaolin.
Shaolim. I
Hey,
know, super super
that's a dope
creative,
name for a DJ.
super
Creative.
creative. If you want to know how he looks like, he kind of looks like that in a nun suit. That's Sister Shaolim. It's him, but uh, so this is DJ. It's DJ Feedback, aka Futterbuck. So he's a
Butterbuck.
streamer. Yeah,
Man,
he's a
these
streamer
guys have
as well.
some fancy names, bro. I
Bro,
really
you know
like
what? It takes a while, man. It takes a while to kind of get everyone's name and figure out like what it means. And the hard one of the most challenging parts about Twitch is it's not gender specific. So there's been so many times they're like, shout out to so and so, how are you, bro? Good to see you, man. It's like, yeah, that's a female. I
Bro,
feel
I'm a
like an
cis.
idiot right now. I'm so
My
sorry.
pronouns are they
My
there.
bad.
Come
My
on, man.
bad. Right.
No.
So yeah. So I mean, since you brought it up, I want to just briefly share, and then chat Ohana, please tell me, let me know your thoughts too as well. The whole Will Smith, Chris Rock thing. Like, what's your feedback? Like, what was it for you? What do you what? Tell me. Share your thoughts.
So I ended up sharing my thoughts on this because as a professional MC, we have an opinion of what it's like. We should at least,
Yeah.
but it's never right or wrong. It's just a matter of perspective. Everybody has a different form or way of how they view what happened, and for me personally, first and foremost, like I spoke on behalf of Chris Rock. Like people have a different opinion. Did he cross the line? Did he not? But the one thing I do want to mention, and it was mentioned on my Facebook, how I shared
Mm.
my thoughts behind it. Uh, you know, Whether or not you think he crossed the line, he may have. He may have not to some people. But like I just had to commend him for his professionalism after the fact. After he got slapped, there was a
Yeah.
moment he goes, when Will Smith's like, "Keep my wife
Yeah.
out your fucking mouth."
Yeah.
Right? There was a
Yeah.
moment that uh, Chris Rock said, "Oh, I could." When he stuttered, he
He
goes,
did.
"Oh, I
I
could."
Yeah, I caught that too. He was like, "What?"
As an MC,
And then
right?
he
We
stopped.
do
He
our
stopped.
craft
Yeah.
so well that we should catch on every one of
Yeah.
these little tidbits.
Yeah.
And so when he goes, "Oh, I could," I knew he could have destroyed Will in the moment, like even more, for the sake of humor. But
Yeah.
he
But he made a
stopped.
choice.
He made a choice.
It's the same reason how Will Smith made a choice to choose
Right.
violence,
Yeah. So he
right?
stopped. He paused and decided, I'm not going to go any further.
Yeah.
And that takes and I'm going to speak on behalf of the men in the chat, and I'm going to also mention to the females, let me know if you agree with this statement. To hurt a guy's ego is the same way to hurt a girl's heart. And that's
Mm.
what I personally feel, that if a guy's ego is hit, you know how much humility and strength it takes to not only be slapped publicly, but also emotionally humiliated in front of your peers and not do anything. Now, that's a strength that I don't know I might have. I don't know what kind of strength I have for me until, or maybe you might not know the kind of strength you have until that moment's done where you're arguing with someone or you're going through something and you've escalated or the situation gets escalated. Only you know yourself better. But what I can say is Chris Rock knows himself so well to at least know, not to push any further. And that was
Oh,
cool.
big time. And you know,
That was cool
during
for me. He earned my respect there, bro.
yeah, same here. And during Will Smith's acceptance speech when he won the Best Actor award, right? He said Denzel Washington walked up to him and shared a quote, which was something I'm paraphrasing, which said something like, "Even at your highest moment, the devil will come at you."
Right.
Right? That also plays that was also for Chris Rock. Right?
Absolutely.
Here's what I think the devil was for Will Smith. It was his ego, just like
Mm-hmm.
what you said.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the devil was. It was
Mm-hmm.
his ego. Had nothing else to do with the right. And again, I get it. I understand. My take is he's a comedian. That is what comedians do. They will
It's
talk
expected.
about
It's
things.
expected in the Oscar. Like if you go to a comedy show to get
Yeah,
offended,
yeah,
you might as well be called a Karen. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh,
Like
for sure.
don't pay for like comedy money and then go to sit there to get offended, right? But I'm gonna speak on behalf of Will Smith's side too, because I always like to look at it from both sides of the
For
equation.
sure.
I'm never
Absolutely.
that type. Just like you, Don, we want to see what kind of battles did Will have to go through in this moment. And I'll tell you something that not a lot of people know about Will. When he was growing up, if you've ever read his book, now Will Smith was one of my favorite actors growing up. I'm so embarrassed and sad for him because he was one of my favorites growing up. And I used to watch Fresh Prince of Bel Air. That's the household I grew up in Samoa, bro. Like
Yeah.
Nickelodeon was on every Saturday or Disney. So growing up watching Will was like a thing in Samoa in the 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I read his book that during that time, his mom was beat up, like beat. beat up, physically abused by the dad.
Mm,
So he made a promise, and you'll get to hear it in his book. He made a
mm,
promise for himself that whoever becomes my woman later, she would never have to go through that physically, emotionally, you name it. He made sure, he told himself that she's going to be protected regardless. So much so that he humiliated himself for that woman. And
yeah.
long story short, uh, he's paying the price for it now because no one else is to blame. People can say, "Oh, Jada's in the background," you know, looking at him a certain way. No, no, no. Just because someone looks at you a certain way, you still have control for it. If you were that, that's why I say meditation and having silent time. If you were so poised and confident in who you are as ability, no one around you should affect your way of doing things. You should learn to move yourself out of the equation. That's why they say, tell me who your five friends are. I'll tell you who you are.
Well, yep.
If you don't want to be a part of that friend group because they complain or criticize so much, move yourself out of it. So
Yeah.
my personal thing is he had the control, and you said it best, bro. It was a choice. He had
Yeah.
a choice in that moment, but he let his emotions take over, and that's the tough part. And so
Yeah.
I'm gonna say a lot of us are human, and it is my hope that in some of our lowest moments that we can be empathetic more
Oh,
on both
absolutely.
sides of the equation. You
Absolutely.
know, it's
I
tough. Like in our lowest moments, what would we do, right?
Yeah.
If we were in our lowest moments, and let's say it's not that woman, think about it if that was your mother,
Yeah.
and she had alopecia.
Right.
I always like to say, put yourself in that person's shoes and see,
For sure.
would you have reacted the same way if someone said that to your mom
For sure.
or someone
Yeah.
like on the girl? So that's all I'm saying. But
Yeah, and to be fair, always looking at on both sides and seeing the perspective, right? I think
absolutely.
it was someone made a comment. Diana Lynn Rivera wrote, she wasn't worth it. Well, maybe to Will she was, which is why he acted a certain way, right? I
Absolutely.
mean, there's a saying that I've often heard, and the saying is, "Hurt people hurt people." Will is hurting, right?
Yep.
Going through all that public um, shame, guilt, and the things that Jada has. I don't want to say has put him through because he's equally responsible as well. And when people talk about relationship and like, okay, and again, I am not trying to single out anybody in no way or any specific gender in any way. But normally this is the normal case, right? And I say this through my experience as a law enforcement officer. For case in point, last night when I responded to a domestic violence call, right? An argument, and she's like, he always does this, and I'm tired of this, and we've been at it for like the last 8 months, and I'm sick and tired of it. And normally the response is, well, then why don't you just leave? It's easier said than done because there's so many other factors that come
Absolutely.
behind it. I just think, you know, that moment right there, I think was that straw that broke the camel's back.
Yep.
It didn't necessarily have to be in that area. It could have been somewhere else.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it happened at the Oscars,
Yep. Yep.
right? And
Yep.
that was that breaking point. Like he hit that threshold and he said, "You know what? F it. I'm done with this."
Right.
And then, right, of course, unfortunately, that his choice dictated on his actions, which was very right. I mean, it's the
Yeah,
slap
that
that
was
was
sad,
literally
man.
heard
Like
around
to
the
see
world.
him just destroy his reputation in a matter of seconds, bro.
Yeah,
Like nobody did that but him, and that's the sad
yeah,
part.
yeah.
So
Because
I hope he
he
comes
could
out of
have
it. He
not.
said he's going to rehab and do all of that, and I
Yeah,
I hope he comes out of it the other side because he's still. It's a battle, man. All of us know this when we
yeah.
fight ourselves. We're the number one person we fight every single day.
Oh yeah, we're our
When we're
biggest enemy.
arguing, yeah, right. When we're
Yeah.
arguing, blaming everybody else, like it says more about us than it does the other person.
Oh, for
Even
sure.
if it might be true, like where we're like going through a tough situation, it always ends up falling back on you. Like,
Yeah,
okay, why are you in that situation, right? And like you said, why are you still in it? And it's tough, um, easier said than done kind of thing. But
for sure.
that's why it goes back to what I mentioned earlier about being silent, bro. The more you are so comfortable with yourself, no matter what someone says, no
Yeah,
matter what like the world's opinion of you is, no matter what you see, because I can tell you that celebrities go through it so much.
yeah,
I realize that what Tyler Perry said best is you're not doing well or you're not doing good enough for yourself unless you have haters. The
yeah,
moment you have haters, that's when you know you're doing something right.
Oh,
So for
of
the longest
course.
time, Don, I'll tell
Yeah.
you, I never had haters. I was like, man,
Yeah.
I'm doing something wrong, bro. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been doing this for so long, I can't get haters. It's kind of a weird thing to say, but yeah, for the longest time, I never had haters. So I thought, well, I'm not doing anything right. Up until I started content creation, then I just started seeing all these like comments from so many people, like,
For
"Oh, he
real.
makes someone's look bad. Oh,
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
oh that,"
Yeah. Yeah.
and then you get truly tested,
Yeah.
because are you gonna fall in the route of, oh, they might be right, maybe I should stop, or man, maybe this makes me question on how. No, no, no. It's how much time do you spend with yourself alone, and do you really know who you are? And
Yep.
until you really love yourself, no one, and I mean no one, can ever hurt you. Eleanor Roosevelt said it best: no one can hurt you without your consent. And it
Yep.
makes sense. Absolutely.
Amen. 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 Yep. Absolutely. Right. Yeah, you said something. I just lost my train of thought, but you know, I think someone said about what's her name, Jada. She stood silent. Jada had a choice too. Jada could have said something, just as much as she rolled her eyes because Will laughed, and then when he saw her, it triggered him to react the way he reacted. In that moment, she could have said something too as well.
Hmm.
Right? I mean, so many different factors.
Absolutely.
2020 hindsight is always 2020, right?
Right.
We're not there. It wasn't us. Had we have handled it differently? I don't know. Right? Would I taken the if I was Chris Rock and someone slapped me like that? Would I have would I
People
have
are
eaten?
saying jokes, Don. Like, what if it was The Rock? What would he have done?
I know. Well,
Would
first of all,
Will have even slapped him?
I don't
No,
think
no,
even Will would have walked up to him. Right? Yeah, I don't think Will would have walked up to him
no.
and said, "Hey, Rock, sir,
No, bro. Can you
please,
leave
Rock,
my wife out of this?
is there any way we could have this conversation right after he's like, hey, man, I'm up here. Oh yeah, Rock, sir, is there? No, no,
Oh man.
yeah,
Oh man.
no, for sure. I totally get it. I totally get it. Yeah. Pressy Styles Cartel will climb stairs and walked about 20 steps. Plenty of time to check himself.
Oh man,
You know. I
President, you
mean,
are right.
of
He
course,
climbed
uh,
20 stairs,
of
walked about
course,
20 steps.
but in the moment when you're angry and you're upset and you're hurt and all these emotions, like all of that stuff that you don't even think about,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Because I'm gonna tell you straight up. For me myself, I have done some stupid shit when I was angry. Like I think
I,
all of us have.
I
I
still
think
do
all of us.
stupid shit when I'm angry. Like, yeah. It's
Me
because we're
too.
human. Because we're
Yeah, we're
human.
human, and it's
Yeah.
like it's a bat. Like I said, there's no battle more important in this world than the battle with yourself.
Yeah.
Don't stop pointing to all the people around you. Oh, I can't make it because of this. Can't make it because of that.
For sure.
All these outside factors. Like, no, it's the battle with you. However far you've come in your life right now, it's all because of you. That's how far you've gone. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to the DJ X is in the house. DJ X, how are you,
DJ
man?
X.
He was actually just here in Hawaii a couple weeks ago. I had dinner with him and his two children. And they came here for vacation. They were in Maui. Oh, sorry, they're on the Big Island of Hawaii for a little bit, and then they came here and we had lunch and we talked shop. And so, shout out to the DJ X. Good to see you, sir. Happy Aloha Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us. But yeah, man. I mean that whole thing, about this whole Will Smith. So I'm gonna play this clip. I've actually played it several times here on Wisdom Wednesday, but I'm gonna play this for you, and I want you. I want to get your thoughts about this because in good and challenging times, like it makes so much sense. So hold on. So let me play this for you. So check this out.
I wish I had known that this too shall pass. You feel bad right now? You feel pissed off? You feel angry?
That's
This
good.
too shall pass.
Oh,
You
great.
feel great? You feel like you know all the answers? You feel like that everybody finally gets you, and there you are.
Yeah.
This too shall pass.
Ooh, good.
Time is your ally, and if nothing else, just wait.
This too shall pass.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I love that quote because
Yeah.
today while I was getting a haircut from my barber, we talked about every delay has a blessing. Jay Shetty, one of my
Yeah.
favorite quotes. He
Yes.
says every delay has a blessing.
Yep.
And so it led me back to Gangnam Style. For some reason, some random, because we have a Korean in here, he understands. When Gangnam Style was released, it was, I think, released 9 years
Crazy, yeah.
before it even became popular.
Crazy.
That
Crazy.
was so 9 years. Nobody
Yeah.
knew.
Yeah. A lot
Like
of people don't know that.
US. No,
Yeah.
nobody knows it. It took
Yeah.
9. He released it 9 years prior to it ever blowing
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
and it made me think about. I love what Tom Hanks said. Essentially, I'm going to paraphrase. It's like, don't get too high when you're feeling good, but also don't get too low when you're
Yeah.
feeling bad.
Yes.
There's a balance.
Yeah.
When everything is going well and whatnot, good, recognize it, like be grateful for it, and then just like what Don said, when there is a lesson to be learned, that's also a blessing in and of itself, because now you know what not to do the next
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to shift really quick about real life events, wedding events, and how, like, bro, thank you for the referrals. Thank you for the collaboration.
Anytime, bro.
Like, I would love to hook up with you and see you at one of your wedding events and sit
Yes,
there and be
and
a
I
fly
would
on the
love
wall
to
and learn
get advice from
and
you,
give you
bro.
some
Like,
feedback, right?
yeah, I would love that. I would love that. Nothing more
So
than that.
you want to share with the chat room, like, about like how this came to be, and
Yes,
like how
yes,
you
yes,
reached out to
absolutely.
Crichton, if you could share that story.
Yes, of course. So when I first came to Hawaii in 2006 until 2010, I had no connections in the MC DJ world. Fast forward to like 2000, I think it was 12 to 14, I finally decided, and then I quit like my full time in 2016 to do this full time. And I thought during that time, I didn't have much connections in the world, but there was a thing called the Wedding Cafe back in the day. It was a cafe for brides and grooms. So
Yep.
brides and grooms would all flock to this cafe, figure out which wedding DJ is going to be my favorite, which videographer is going to be my favorite. And so through there, I met a guy by the name of Crichton. Random story. So he realized, oh, he's also Samoan. I'm Samoan. Let's be friends, right? You want to
Yes.
be best
Yes.
friends. So we became
Yeah.
friends. And then he used to invite me to ball every Wednesday. And when I first went out to ball with him, I had no clue who Don was during that time. Don had no clue who I was. But this was like 6 years prior to Don even reaching out. And so 6 years prior, we're talking story, and Crichton goes, bro, you know, as much as good DJs and MCs there are out here, there's no other MC I know of that's better than Don. And I said, oh, who's this Don? So I go like, who's this Don guy? I have no clue. Like, I never had
Yeah.
mentors. I never had anything. He goes, bro, that's the guy who taught me how to be how to be a really, really good MC. So I said, oh, wow, that's so cool. So anyways, fast forward like 6 years later, Don reaches out. Now, me and Don aren't friends. And so, just like all my Instagram, Facebook messages, TikTok messages, it gets lost because, like, I have like hundreds to thousands of messages and all these things. And so, Don, for some reason, reached out at the right time, because Don reached out, and on Instagram, you're like on the main chat room, and then there's a request room. And in my request room, it has like a bunch of messages. I don't have time to read all of that. So it just so happened that I clicked on the request because I kind of noticed the number changed. There was like a much higher number. And I was like scrolling down. I don't try to bother reading all. There's so much. But there was one that had Don Faminan. And I was like, hey, this was the guy that Crichton was talking about 6 years ago. That was so good. So I opened it and it said, hey, I want to meet up. And I said, hey, this is really cool. I heard about you before. You're like when they say when your reputation precedes itself.
Yeah.
I knew about Don before he even reached out like 6 years, ago, which was pretty cool. And so Don asked to meet up, and hence the story of how we met up and how cool of a guy this is. Anyways,
And
took me
here
out
we
to
are.
Liliha, and I ate Liliha again last night, and I thought about you, Don.
and here we are.
And here
Yeah,
we
and
are.
it was funny because one of my other DJ buddies, and he was like a mentor to me, and he kind of taught me a lot of things. And so he reached, because he no longer lives here, Dave Lewis, right? So he lives on the
Yes.
continent now. But he shoots me a text. He's like, "Hey, are you coming to Vegas?" I was like, "Oh, what's in Vegas?" He's like, "Well, it's the DJ convention that's happening. It's a different one that we would normally attend." I was like, "Oh man, when is it?" He was like, "Oh, it's in. I believe it was in February, right?"
Yep.
Right. And so I was like, you know what? I can't make it. My father in law just passed away. I've got all these things happening. And so he goes, yeah, well, I'm actually not going to attend the conference. I'm actually just want to go out and see a few people. I want to hang out with them. So I went and I went on the website of that conference and I started looking at who are the featured speakers. And lo and behold, I see your name on there as one of the guest speakers there. I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, how did this dude do this? Like, he's from Hawaii, this Samoan brother right here, and he's featured and he's speaking on on a huge stage in front of all our DJ peers and MC wedding, MC DJ peers out there. So that's when I reached out. I was like, you know what? I started following you on IG prior to that. I was watching all your stuff. Then I saw your bio on you speaking. I was like, wait a second, he does weddings. I was like, and that's when I reached out. I'm always a person that looking for people that who's willing to sit down and have a chat and talk about things weddings because weddings my niche. And it was awesome. I was like, okay, let me just throw this out. Let me throw this spaghetti out and see if it'll stick. And I'm gonna leave it in God's hands and see what happens from here. And lo and behold, you send me a message back. I was like, holy, but I had a plan. That's why. Like, if
Right.
I didn't hear from you from a week, I was actually going to start reaching out to like Crichton and then like everybody else. Like, hey, man, you guys got Kuldip's number, or can you relay this message? Let him know I'm looking to hook up. I want to pick his brain. I want to talk shop. I want to see how I can help and see if he can help me and vice versa. And again, like,
It's amazing, bro. It's amazing how like the moment you hear or see something that you're supposed to do and you go do it.
yeah,
Right. So if Don never reached out, none of this would have happened.
this
And
would not happen.
yeah. And so
This is
I
would not
appreciate
happen.
Don for reaching out because this is, I've always wanted a mentor in this world anyway, too. So I've always wanted to see someone see my work. Cause no matter
Yeah,
how many big stages I've been on, and this should be for any DJ or any MC, if you like think like that and think, oh, nobody can ever mentor you, you'll
yeah.
never go farther in life. Like
Oh
you're
yeah,
just only going to be stuck in that one situation. So to hear someone that has
yeah.
been so reputable for so long, like 6 years prior, I never knew how I was going to attract someone like that. But it happened through this way. And I think it's one of the coolest things ever because I still am going to have you come out at one of my events, bro, just so you can
Yeah,
see.
man. I
I
would
would
love
love
it.
that.
I would love
I would love
that,
nothing
man.
more.
Yeah, we had that conversation. Shout out to Marcio. He's from Rio de Janeiro. All the way out
Ah,
there. Yeah.
okay.
So again, bro, it's global.
What is the popular language in Brazil? Is it Portuguese
It's
or is it
Portuguese.
Spanish?
I believe
Which
it's.
one is it? Like
I
which
believe
one is
it's.
bigger?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Ah,
I only assumed it's Portuguese. I don't know. I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah, I'm sure Marcio can
Hi,
you know
Marcio.
yeah,
Nice to meet you, my friend.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, again, that's just it's a lesson in itself where you have that prompting. You have again, that's God talking to you. Jump, jump, right?
Right.
Do it, act on it. You have that, right? Oh, one of my favorite sayings when I teach my workshop is when the intention is pure, the mechanism will appear, right?
Hmm.
And so my intention was only to see how we could collaborate. My intention was only to see like where you're at. I know you're doing weddings. Let me see how I can serve and help you.
Hmm.
And in turn, like I've been blessed many times over because of your kindness and so again I look forward to this and I look forward to us collaborating in the future and doing things like it'd be super dope. We do an event side by side. That'd
Oh,
be
I
like
would love that, bro.
that
That would
that'd
be
be
really, really
so
dope.
good.
That would be
Like
really dope.
yeah,
I
I
just
do weddings, but imagine if we did an award show,
oh,
bro. And we both on the mic and we co MC.
that would be dope. I would enjoy that so much. Good luck to everybody in the
Good
crowd.
luck
Nah,
to
just
everybody else, man. But we'll have fun. But it's the good, clean kind of fun where like I,
absolutely.
I always tell my clients, like when I sit down with them, I always say this to the brides and groom. We said, look, I'm an extension of you and your family. Whatever I do, however I act, people are gonna look at that and say, "Wow, who is this guy?" Right? And so I've been very blessed, and I have been very proud and humbly proud to say that at the end of every event, people are going up to the brides and groom, was like, "So is he related to you guys?" Like,
I love
no,
that,
he's
bro. That's
he's
like
the hired help. We hired, like,
right.
you don't know him?
Exactly.
I'm like, yeah, like,
That is the
wow,
best thing you can hear.
it's such a great compliment. It's
It
such
is.
a great compliment, and people coming up and say, "Hey, man, like, we're looking to get married. Like, can we get your contact?" Like, yeah, absolutely, of course. And if I can't do it, I'll refer you to those that will take care of you, and will do it as if I was there. You know, yeah. So what's the future for you? Like, what are we looking for in terms of like IG? You looking to move forward? What's the future in store for Cool Dip?
So I think the biggest dream for me was to actually like act in a major film. That might be the biggest dream, but for some reason, the more I see Hollywood, the more I see it might not be something I want to do. But
Yeah,
what I would like to do is to show this, and this is the main reason why I will continue to do what I do and not give up, is
yeah,
to show every bullied kid, because I was bullied growing up. And I speak for all the bullied kids and all the nerds and all the geeks out there that I want to show them that they're capable of more than just that typical thing you'll look at. So for me, I'll go as far as wherever it takes me. So I'm not sure where that is, but
nice,
I absolutely love content create. I love working in the unknown and just
nice,
letting God handle it. Like
nice.
I pray as hard as if God depended on it, and I work as hard as if I depended on it. But I
Yep.
will tell you, lately I haven't been working hard enough. So I've been taking a little chill thing, but I love what X said. Nerds rule. I think I
Nerds,
just saw that.
nerds rule. Yeah, yeah, I got the
Yeah.
reference. I got the reference.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, I mean, I don't know how far it'll go, bro. But
nice.
I would like to. I don't know. I always thought I don't know if a number is a thing. I don't ever want to tie like an external factor to success. I always thought 1 million subscribers or 1 million followers is pretty cool. But I don't know if that'll make me happy. I feel like I'm already happy, but I'm still like pursuing myself to be even better. That's all. So
I
the
love
the
it.
part, yeah,
Yeah. No, I love it. One of my favorite parts, and I'm sure this happens to you more often than it happens for me. But one of my favorite things is when people come up to me and are like, "Hey, are you on Twitch? Are you like DJ Don?" Like, "Oh yeah, that's me." You're like, "Oh, so nice to meet you." I'm like, man, like, crazy,
yeah,
crazy. Or when I'm streaming, I can honestly tell you, bro, every time I'm streaming, and every time when someone hits that follow button, or when they subscribe to my channel, like, the amount of gratitude and the aloha I have for these people that are, number one, taking time out of their busy schedule to be in that channel in that moment. Number two, they can be anywhere they choose to be in that channel. And then number three, taking that opportunity to say, "You know what, I like this cat. This guy's pretty cool. I'm gonna follow him. I like him even more. I'm gonna subscribe to his channel."
mhm,
Like, I find no greater compliment than these people that will do it just out of the genuinity of their hearts.
mhm.
Like, that is such a great compliment to me, because I'm just a regular dude, man. I'm just so like everybody else, but you know, have I have an opportunity to share, music, but to share aloha throughout the globe. I think
Mhm.
that's, you know, yeah, crazy, man,
Yeah, that's a
crazy.
beautiful thing.
Yeah. Let me read this. DJX wrote a whole story. Uh, Good people prevailed in this world. Last week, a good person hit me up on Facebook, and they bought my son's iPad off of a taxi driver for, oh yeah, yeah, because he was here for $20. He knew it was too good to be true, and somehow tracked me down on Facebook, shipped back the iPad. There
Wow.
are great people in this world. Ah, man. You know what? Because I actually picked up DJ X and his kids from the hotel to go have dinner, and he was like, "Hey, man, can you hold on really, really quick? My son forgot his iPad in the taxi. We're trying to locate the taxi, right?" And
Ah,
so, like, he was behind, like, "Oh,
that
we
is
can't,"
crazy.
and so, like, so he got a license plate. So he came back in, and he's like, "What's the license plate?" Of course, his DJ Oo's friend happens to be in law enforcement. So I called dispatch. And I'm like, "Hey, I need the registered owner of this specific address." So I run the plate for him. Don't tell anybody. I run the plate for him, and and he was like, no, I don't think that's the one. So I mean, we tried all different ways. We didn't, but again, look at that, man.
Yeah, that is really cool. Yeah,
That is
there's so much more good in this world than
amazing.
it is
Oh,
bad.
absolutely,
It's just a matter
absolutely,
of
man.
finding it and
Yeah,
seeing where. And sometimes it's not necessarily out there. It's right in front of you.
yeah, yeah. You don't have to look too far sometimes. Case in point, look at the people in this chat room. All of you, love you guys. Like for real, mahalo nui. Yeah, on behalf of me and my brother right here, thank you guys for being here. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, Raven Shimmers. Uh, Also, yeah, I remember that. Yes, your husband actually, when during my one of my streams, Raven, your husband actually texted and saying that you had a stroke, and listening to the music was helping you, like, and I've said this often. One of my mods, he's from Maui, and he started streaming about a year ago. And I told him, I said, look, you have a responsibility, each and every one of us. We have a responsibility to the people that come and visit our channel. Every time we click start live, and their responsibility is to let them know that they are loved, they are valued, and that they know that there's no judgment on this side of the camera for them. Again, when it's from the attitude of gratitude, things are can be very, very different, and that's where I believe where the miracles happen. So this is actually one of my moderators, Ho'okele Moana 808. She just had surgery, back surgery.
That's the one you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know why you are on this chat, and I don't know how you mustered the strength to be here, sister, but we love you. Thank you for being here. So LYC is an acronym that means love you chokes. That's
Okay.
what LYC is
Okay.
here. Yeah, yeah. So thank you so much. Yeah, the DJX, man, how crazy is that, man? He
That's a
didn't
cool
even
story.
ask for a reimbursement for the shipment, but we gave him a nice Venmo donation for his kindness. Nice. That's dope, bro. That's
pretty
dope.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, bro. So, you know what? I'm curious. So when you record and do your content out in the public, like, do you have a team with you, or is it just one person with the camera, or how does that work? I'm curious how that works.
Yeah. So you're looking at the director, the scripter, the writer, the actor, everything, bro.
Everybody, right? You're
So,
security,
yeah.
janitor, right? Editor, producer. You're everything, right?
Yeah.
Everything.
So
Yeah.
so it's good. Now it's also good to have a good right hand. And Kimmy is the one that's video, like she's
Nice.
the one recording everything.
God
So
bless
without her
Kimmy.
too, none of this would be put on camera, and nobody would be able to see all the craziness that's happening in Waikiki. So
Yeah.
I want to give this big shout out to her. Appreciate her as well. And I appreciate your community for taking the time to come out and hang out with us. This is pretty cool,
Absolutely.
bro. You have a really cool community. Everybody, it's just a very simple talk story and whatnot. But Mal the DJ says, invite me to the next b-ball video, bro. You got it, because
Yeah.
I still need to do a b-ball video with the Indian nerd. So
Nice.
he's gonna come out and play basketball with
So
people like an
Miles a
Indian nerd.
baller. I mean, of course, he's this dope, really, really crazy ass volleyball player, but he's also a really good basketball player. So in all seriousness, Miles 6'9".
Oh,
Yeah,
dope.
yeah. So
Oh,
I
he has to
wasn't
be in the
kidding.
next video then. I need
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
taller than me.
yeah. You'd love to have him in there.
Because people were like, bro, all the people you're playing against are also short. I was like, that's part of the video. Nah.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, wow, 6'9", that's pretty dope.
Yeah. So we'll make sure
Nice.
we all connect. Yeah, and let's, Mao, I'll give you a call. Let's have lunch one day with Kuldip, and let's get together. Let's make that connection.
Hey,
right?
that'd be cool. That's pretty dope.
The more people we can connect, the more good we can spread to everyone.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So Aguia, also from Brazil, from Rio. Erica is here. Aloha nui, Erica. Any last words, any last thoughts, any last words of wisdom, any favorite quote you'd like to share with the chat room?
I don't really have, I have too many favorites. But what I will say is, like, the moment you're able to find something that you love and you enjoy, like, keep pursuing it, because you never know the one person you might impact. Because I'm all about like doing something that's bigger than you, and that's basically, it's not a quote or anything, but we hear it so many times.
Yeah.
But the moment you like know what you love and what you do, pursue it. Like, there's no bigger regret than you saying that, I wish I could have done this.
Yeah.
That's all.
Tony Robbins said it best. Don't ever should on yourself. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I love it. So I'd like to share a quote, and I think it fits right into what we were discussing and just your journey and everything and all the things that we shared today. And the quote is, grow through what you're going through.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. It's one of my favorite quotes. Yeah.
I love that too.
Yeah. It makes so
That's a
much
good one.
sense. Yeah. Once again, chat Ohana, I appreciate all of you. Let me see. Well, I just got to find somebody to raid out. So I'm gonna raid into. So our raid is when we take like a channel, like let's say, so we're ending this stream,
And you
and
take them to another stream. Yeah.
we take them to another stream
That's cool.
yeah,
Show support and aloha.
yeah, show the support, take the party, uh, to the next streamers. But this person I'm gonna send us to, DJ E Man. He's based out in LA. He's actually one of the DJs for like all the big stars. So he's DJ'd for like Mariah Carey, Chris Brown. Like when he had his birthday last year, it was Nicki Minaj actually sent him like a bottle of alcohol. Like
That's pretty cool.
that's the level of this guy right here. And with
That
him
is
is
cool.
another DJ. He's from the Bay Area, Theo Tabora.
Uh-huh.
Theo and I made partner about a year ago, back in July. I want to say maybe a week or 2 weeks apart. And so, good brothers out there, DJ E Man, DJ Theo Tabora. Let's show them some love. We're gonna go out there, chat Ohana, show you aloha, show you mahalo, show you love to my brother Kuldip. Thank you so much. I'm actually gonna jump on later on this evening. It's gonna be late. I'm gonna do a chill vibe set, but if not, you can catch me tomorrow. Check out Kuldip on IG. Throw out your handle, bro. Let them know.
Oh, it's Kuldip TV. KOOLDIP, and it's TV.
Yes.
I'll just type it down here too. So, oh, never mind. I don't know how to type it.
Nah, that's
Forget it.
okay.
Just remember
no
it.
worries. Yeah. I'll make sure to right there. One of my mods put it out there.
Oh, you got some fast
Yeah,
mods, bro.
that's what they're there for, man. That's
Dope.
why I love them. That's my Kimmy. I got three of them
Dope.
because I'm crazy like that.
Yeah,
Chat Ohana, I
man.
love you guys. We'll see you on the flip side. And we just rated out. Let me end this broadcast.